Hello everyone, my name is yeon, and I am the research professor at Incheon Studies Institute of Incheon National University in South Korea. Today's title is the disinfection activities at Incheon in the modern period of opening fort and the present meaning of them. Let's go to introduction. In 1880s, Korea has opened her ports to the Western countries. On this occasion, Korea has accepted the new modern disinfection system from Europe through Japan. This acceptance has influenced to Incheon the famous open port, and so in the Port Incheon, modern types of quarantine on foreign ships was acted. Because of outbreak of cholera in the year of 1886. But in the city at similar time, traditional type of disinfection measures were put in force for the successive solution of epidemic prison. It was mainly due to the excessive and unaffordable cost of quarantine. The policy of emptying the prison through the maximum release of prisoners was very inexpensive and effective, but mere temporary. Maybe it was the most successive step in that time. Making a lesson of history from these activities, I want to submit one or two suggestions on these epidemic days of COVID-19. Foreign ships quarantine. From the year of 1886 to 1899, in the port city Incheon, there broke out powerful epidemic cholera 2 or 3 times. Therefore, the city government carried out the quarantine for foreign ships and established an isolation hospital only for remedy of epidemic in the Walmi Island near the entrance of the port. As for foreign ships quarantine, there occurred a little dispute of quarantining for military ships. Of course, it was not problem quarantine for the merchant ships or for the passenger ship, etc. For military security reasons, the officers of foreign military ships come from the cholera pollution area protested strongly to the quarantine, and so the city dealt with a written investigation instead on the direct quarantine inspection. If the ship has cholera patients or suspected cholera patients, the government took a step of remedy of the epidemic at the ship or at the epidemic isolation hospital in the city. 3. Emptying the prison. However, from the years of 1880s, in the Port Incheon, quarantine for the foreign ships was put in force, and from the reform in 1894, the relevant statutes are enacted. But at the same time, the new and modern disinfection did not enforced in the prison of the city. Traditional ways of the epidemic was merely in effect. The patriot Kim Gu was imprisoned the Incheon prison for the murder of a Japanese soldier during the time of from July 1896 to March 1898. At the prison, he suffered from typhoid fever, but didn't have any sort of remedy or machine help, and so he tried to kill himself in despair of this gloomy situation, but failed. After he had a substantial cost of self-protection from the high official of the police privately, but it had nothing to do with the official cost of the prison. At that time, there was not any modern facility or any funds for employing a dedicated doctor in the prison. The headman of the city always begged for the wanting food cost of prisoners to the superior officials, but in most cases it was refused. It was practically impossible for the prisoners to take the remedy help of the disease in the prison. Therefore, the official of the prison boldly enforced the emptying the prison policy through the using of parole with the permission from the top. It was the most inexpensive traditional infectious disease solution without any relation of the modern system. But the traditional policy was temporary and antiquated. Now, let's go to the conclusion. In the later of the 19th centuries, Korea has accepted the new and modern quarantine system for cholera epidemic and put in force the foreign ships quarantine, but took the traditional solutions such as parole for prisoners, and so they had effective and successive result. This is the traditional and neo-concurrent epidemic solutions, also providing some lessons to today's antivirus authorities. From the 19th Korean epidemic story, the principal messages we can achieve are as follows. First, our present social isolation movement is to be acted with the smallest funds, considering the wretched and poor people. And second, in this, the strong and close governance between the disinfection officials and local residents. Thank you for listening. Farewell.